Hi, why do we call it trauma? When you break a bone, you go to the trauma unit. When something overwhelming happens to us, we break into two. Our psychology becomes broken into two pieces who can no longer connect. One of the pieces is the survivor, the other piece is the victim. Hmm? Decades later, we tend to be identified with the survivor, which means we believe everything the survivor says. And the survivor spends a lot of time criticizing the victim because the survivor is the part of us that goes into the fight or flight mode. It is escaping or it is fighting with the cause of danger, whereas the victim is giving in and giving up. So the victim has feelings of helplessness, hopelessness, of wanting it all to finish quick, of had thoughts about death and suicidal tendencies are part of that victim side. And the survivor is the part that is just going to fight with everything and kill whoever it has to kill in order to overcome that danger. I talk about kill because these are two very primal, very instinctive parts of us. Okay? So the survivor has anger and fear. And a lot of things we do today, 99% of what we're doing in the business industry, it's all driven by fear and by anger. We're always avoiding risk, or we're defending our wealth, or we're fighting with other people to get new opportunities to achieve goals. So we are completely identified with a survivor. The solution to the trauma comes by integrating those two parts back into the adult you have become. Those two parts of you are like little children that kidnap your brain. And they sound like they're really smart and like what they're saying is feasible and credible because they're using your thoughts and all the information inside of your brain. But really, they have the maturity that you had when they were created. So, childhood trauma usually happens from 0 to 7 years old. It can also happen in the 9 months we spend in our mother's womb or during the birth. That's what we call perinatal trauma. So, for today, remember that there's two parts of you who can't connect to each other, and you are the adult in the room. What you want to do is each time you hear them talk in your mind, identify them, give them a name. I talk about Heidi and Miss Rottenmeier, for example, because that's a cartoon we used to watch in Spain years ago. But you could have the puppies from 101 Dalmatians, and then have Cruella de Vil. Or you could have, the other day, a client talked about Wednesday was the survivor figure in their mind. So just choose two figures out of cartoons or stories or series that you're into and start to identify when your thoughts are coming from the survivor or from the victim. That is going to help you to disidentify, to stop believing everything the survivor says as if it was true, and to stop teaming up with the survivor against the victim. The next thing you want to do is when you hear those thoughts inside your mind, you want to calm the emotions that are fueling those thoughts. So you're going to breathe several times, big deep breaths in your body, and look for the part of your body that is most uncomfortable. That is the place where the emotion is being expressed. It may happen that you don't really feel the emotion or identify the emotion. That's not a problem. All you need to do is focus your attention on that part of your body and breathe big, deep, slow breaths in order to relax that part of you. That's going to help the talking of the survivor or the victim. The talking is going to become slower, or it's going to lose strength or lose credibility. And as you do that, you're reintegrating the two little kids that got separated into bubbles, separated bubbles from you a long, long time ago. Mm? That's just one of the models I used to work to overcome trauma with my clients. And because trauma often has several layers, or childhood trauma has been generated year after year after year, it wasn't just one isolated event, but a number of things that kept happening over and over. You're going to find that separation, that breakage into two parts of you, it keeps coming up in each layer you work through. In each layer you find when you go deeper. Hmm? So, more ideas about trauma. Remember, trauma is the door to greatness. And so resolving trauma is the best preparation you could want in order to become a true leader and change the world. Find solutions to all the problems we have today. Bye.